Welcome back, guys. Today we're starting a new topic. We're going to be changing decimals to percents. We are now in our proportional unit. Proportions. We're going to be talking about equivalency. We're going to be talking about rates and unit rates. And we're also going to be talking about ratios. So we're going to start off with percents. We're going to be doing decimals to percents this week. So let's do a few notes. Let me share my screen. Share. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our notes present. Decimal to percents. Vocabulary, always got to know what we're talking about, right? Knowing the vocabulary is half the battle. So our first word is percent, a ratio that compares a number to 100. When you think about percent, it's always out of 100. You hear 10%, that's 10 out of 100. 15%, 15 out of 100. A percent is usually written with a percent bar right here, or you can put it in words. So for example, 50%, 50%. All right, our next vocabulary word is a benchmark percent. I actually talked about this a while back when we were doing fractions. I said, hey guys, here's a helpful chart. These are fractions that you should know like the back of your hand, and percents and decimals. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It is back. So a benchmark percent is a percent that are used when estimating part of a whole because it's part of something. So these are our most common benchmark percents. And notice that I have the decimal and the percent conversion. 0.50 is 50%. 0.25 is 25%. 0.75 is 75%. You may be noticing a pattern that all they're doing is changing where the decimal is and adding a percent sign. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Our last vocabulary word is proportion, an equation stating that two ratios or rates are equivalent. Remember, equivalent means equal to, okay? So here's a percent proportion. A percent is a part-whole relationship. The part is the percent, and the whole is 100, because remember, a percent is out of 100. So let's say our percent is 60, and it's out of 100. I would simplify this to get 3/5 as a simplified fraction, but we're not there yet. I just wanted to show you what a proportion looks like. All right, moving on. We are trying to change decimals to percents. Notice I have the initials DP. Well, that is our helpful friend in how to convert. How to change a decimal to a percent. DP is Dr. Pepper. That's how you're going to remember this, Dr. Pepper. So to change a decimal to a percent, you move the decimal 2 places to the right, 1, 2, and add a percent sign. It's like you're multiplying by 100. So wherever your percent is, where your decimal is, you're going to move it 2 spaces to the right and add a percent sign. Now, if you still have numbers there, those numbers are still going to be behind that decimal if you happen to have decimal numbers behind that decimal, but normally you'll just have a solid number. Now, the reverse, to change a percent to a decimal, you move the decimal 2 places to the left and drop the percent sign. It's like you're dividing by 100. So wherever your back of your number is or your decimal, you're going to start there and you're going to move it 2 to the left and drop the percent sign, and now your answer is in decimal form. Okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and put this to practice. Let me stop sharing that screen. Let's do a few practice problems to see what Miss Likes is talking about when she says Dr. Pepper. Let's make that a little bigger. Oh no, why does it stop share? Let's share again. Share. Okay, so we're converting between decimals and percents, and we're going to start off with converting a decimal to a percent. So first of all, I'm going to draw my friend, Dr. Pepper, to remind myself of my movements. So if I'm trying to go from a decimal to a percent, I'm going to go 2 to the right, okay? So here's my decimal, and I want to change it to a percent. I have 1.7, and I'm going to move it 2 to the right. 1, 2. Whenever I have an empty spot, what do I fill it with? A 0. I'm going to put a 0. So my percent is going to be 170%. Now you might be saying, Miss, how can you have 170%? Well, anything that's over 100, that means you have excess of that, okay? Let's try another one. I want to know, what is 42 hundredths as a percent? Well, here's my decimal. I'm going to move it 2 to the right, 1, 2. So I'm going to write that, and I'm going to put my percent sign, 42%. How about this one? I have 675 thousandths. I want this in a percent. Here's the decimal. I'm going to move it 2 to the right. 1, 2. Notice I still have numbers behind the decimal. So when I write my answer, it's going to be 67.5%. Yes, you can have a decimal as a percent. All right, let's try another one. I have 796 thousandths. Here's my decimal. I'm going to move 2 to the right. 1, 2. Again, I have a number behind it, so I need to keep that decimal. Add my percent sign. 79.6%. All right, look at this one. I'm going to rewrite it down here. Here's my decimal. 2 to the right. 1, 2. Again, if I have an empty spot, I always fill it with a 0. So my percent is going to be 10%. Last one, here's my decimal. 1, 2. I have 162%. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is changing a decimal to a percent using Dr. Pepper. Now, let's go the opposite direction. I'm going to draw my Dr. Pepper again. I need to now change a percent back to a decimal. So when I do that, I will be going from the back of my number, or wherever my decimal is, and I'm going to move 2 to the left. So here's my first one. I have no decimal, so I'm going to start at the back. Move 2 to the left. 1, 2. So I drop the percent sign, and I now have my decimal answer, 1.41. Here's a decimal. I'm going to start there, move 2 to the left, 1, 2, drop the percent sign. So I have decimal 115. Okay, I have 167%. I have no decimal, so I start at the back. 1, 2. Drop the percent sign. I have 1.67. 150%. Again, I have no decimal, so that means I'm starting at the back. 1, 2. Drop the percent sign. I have 1.50. 82.9%. This one has a decimal, so I'm going to start there. 1, 2 to the left. Drop the percent sign. 0.829. All right, final one, 143%. I have no decimal, so that means I start at the back. 1, 2. Drop the percent sign. I have 1.43. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is our introduction to changing a decimal to a percent using Dr. Pepper. Okay, these were our practice problems. Now you're going to go and do some practice on your own. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you still don't understand, please feel free to contact me and I'll be glad to help you. If not, I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.